We're Spaceport Union, and you're listening to the KingMinion Music Podcast.
Today on episode 4 of the KingMinion Music Podcast, an exclusive interview and music from Spaceport Union. Now here's your host, the only region who interviews rockin' bands in a van, KingMinion. Welcome back. I've got an auspicious show lined up for you fans of creative emerging music artists. I've been excited about this interview with Spaceport Union. Last time I was this high was when Nancy Wilson of Heart gave me a French kiss backstage at the old Memorial Arena in 1978. The memories. I promise that if we have any time left, we will add a double or triple shot of previous KingMinion Music Podcast guests at the end of the show. Okay, anyways, let's get started. Spaceport Union is a progressive art rock band based out of Victoria, British Columbia, Canada. Members of the band are Adam Basterfield, vocals, guitars, and keyboards; Taylor Charles, drums; Richard McLeish, bass and vocals; Carolyn Spence, vocals, guitars, keyboards, and saw. Now, we'll note here, Michael Ross recorded with the band on the Lark EP. He is now being replaced by Richard McLeish on bass guitar. The music of Spaceport Union will transport you to another dimension where space and time are endless. They are a musical destination with all the comforts of home. Just relax and let their songs surround you like a warm blanket of contentment. I was given the great honor to interview the members of Spaceport Union and treated to a rare glimpse inside a creative band destined for greatness. All great bands start from somewhere. History is important, especially to music artists in this digital age. Most fans assume that great bands and musicians just magically appear. As is the case in any talented and qualified artist, it takes years and thousands of miles on the touring circuit to perfect a sound and style that a band can call their very own. Our first song today sets the foundation of Canada's new rising music artist, Spaceport Union. Under a previous name of the Carolyn Spence Band, they released the EP Hello, which won the hearts and the ears of listeners along with numerous awards and well-deserved peer recognition. Here is Hey Gemini.
Gemini, I guess I've been afraid this moment might pass. You said the words that made me laugh, and I knew you're the one. You were the one. Yeah, you were the one. All this time. Ooh, I know you. You're the air, I'm the fire. You were here. You were here. Hey Gemini, I guess I've been blind. Yeah, Gemini, I guess I've been blind all this time. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Hey Gemini.
Building on the success of Hey Gemini, the Carol and Spence band evolved into Spaceport Union. The band completed a Canadian tour in 2011. Later that year, they returned to the studio, working again with the illustrious music producer Michael Jack. The result was Lark, a 5-track EP designed to entertain fans and raise much-needed funds to complete a full-length album. Carolyn Spence explains more about the formation of Spaceport Union. So, Carolyn, how do you feel the success of the Hello EP and the song Hey Gemini impacted on your direction to form Spaceport Union?
Well, it was kind of a long road with the Hey Gemini song and that EP. Actually, I had recorded a whole album with the band I was in back in Toronto, and the band broke up, and I was sort of left, to my own devices, and I'd spent 2 years kind of recording this album, and, I felt like I had nothing to kind of show for it. So what I ended up doing was taking the songs out of the album. I used to sing with with a friend of mine, and it was kind of confusing having the whole album with the two singers on it. So I just took out the songs that I actually sang on and made a little EP, and Hey Gemini was on that. And we'd had some success with that, winning a few contests and stuff like that. I moved out to Victoria, and I started sort of songwriting again and kind of taking that whole folk rock thing out on the road, and it was a real learning experience, that whole time period. But what sort of came out of that was I started getting really blocked with my songwriting. Like, I kept feeling like I had to write that in that kind of style, and this sort of, just getting really blocked with that, and also being sort of the centerpiece of the band. As I was like, Caroline Spence, and I really wanted to be part of something and not have it all be, about me. I wanted to welcome other people to write music and share in the songwriting, and it just, no matter how I was trying, it didn't seem to be happening. So, Adam had joined the band here and was doing the Caroline Spence stuff, and we toured with that. And, as we're kind of going along, I mean, he knew I wasn't that happy with how things were going for me as a songwriter. And so I kind of I went on a sort of break from it and just took the time to just start exploring my creativity. And I was doing all sorts of crazy things, like putting different capos on my guitar in different spots and detuning, and, just letting myself kind of free up to just do anything. And so I was writing all this really cool stuff and just kind of going, wow, how am I ever going to play this again? And I was sitting in my place, and Adam and we're partners too, right? So, we live together. And Adam's got perfect pitch, and and he's like really skilled in theory and stuff like that. So anyway, he was trying to get a band together too. So this is kind of where we're at. We're both trying to kind of do stuff. I'm trying to write different kind of songs, go in a different direction. Adam's trying to get some sort of prog band together. And anyway, I was sitting there in our apartment, and I'm listening back and going, oh man, how am I ever going to play this again? There's all this cool stuff I'm doing, all these weird sounds, and if I only could figure out the chords, like what was I doing? And then it suddenly struck me, I'm like, if I only had someone who could who had perfect pitch and could figure this out. And then the light went on. I was, Adam, come help me. And actually, and he always kind of sat in with me and jammed on some of these things too. And he was trying to get a band together. And, was having some frustrations there, trying to find the right people who really got what he was going for and stuff too. So we decided with why don't we just work together on a project, right? Like something different, here's sort of where I wanted to go and here's where he wanted to go. And we said, let's try it. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't, and maybe we can support each other. And that's where it started. And then we just started really being creative with what we're doing and freeing up. And that just kind of started the process of Spaceport Union coming to life. And then as we were sort of doing that, we were looking for a drummer, and and Taylor emailed me out of the blue. I was like, did you see our ad? No. And he found us on Live Victoria, I guess, or somewhere. Yeah, and it was just like,
I just quit a band, and I was just kind of seeing who was out there, and then I just kind of came across them. I'm like, there's no drummer on their roster. I thought I might just try and just kind of see. And then we had about 2 or 3 jams, and then they said, hey, would you want to join? And I was like, okay. And then here we are.
Yeah. And so, and to tie that together with the Gemini thing was that, Taylor was listening to stuff off that was what we were using to promote ourselves before Spaceport Union. So that's sort of how he found us, was through the music from that. So it's kind of like this long, you think, you're getting away from things, but it actually helps lead you to where you're meant to be. It's really interesting how the universe works,
You're listening to the KingMinion Music Podcast.
Spaceport Union has been nominated for 2 Vancouver Island Music Awards. If you get a chance to see them live, they put on a phenomenal show, and they've already toured across Canada. They've actually have a show coming up on February 25th of 2012 at a club called the Cambie in Esquimalt in Victoria, British Columbia, Canada. There is more details on their Facebook page when you go there. Now, touring is a major part of any band today, and I asked the members of Spaceport Union about the fan response during their 2011 tour across Canada.
Okay, Carolyn, how important is it for an emerging band to complete a major tour or tour across the country and test the song material out on fans across the country?
Well, actually, I think that bands starting out, it's probably more important to play regionally. I think you gotta kind of understand your market. Sometimes your own hometown, there might not be a lot of places to play and stuff, and there's more of a following for your kind of music in a different city, right? So you might want to try and play there and around there. And I think for me, the only reason I really started touring across the country is because my mom lives in Victoria and I was in school out in Toronto when I first started doing all this stuff. So for me, it made sense to give it a shot and go across the country because I was going anyway. I soon found that it's quite expensive to go across Canada because, you're going for 10 hours with no place to play at all. And certain nights of the week, there's nothing happening, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday is the same as anywhere else, right? So, crossing Canada is a real, it's something that really, you have to experience to go, because I learned a lot. And we did make lots of fans across the country and a lot of connections with venues. So I did take a lot of value out of the cross Canada touring, because when we went this past summer with Spaceport Union, I was able to book right across the country, with absolutely no problem, because all the venue owners knew me already, which was great because we were going to Toronto to record. And we really wanted to sort of minimize our expenses, and so we just made it into a tour as well. I think this summer we're going to be doing more regional touring, which was quite successful the first summer that we did that. So we'll probably do that again this summer and go up through Alberta and Saskatchewan and back through BC and hit those venues again. And we've had a lot of support from venue owners across the country, which has been really nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so they've really supported us, and and some of them actually helped invest in the album and stuff, gave us money towards our trip, and aside from performing,
Mm-hmm.
what we made at the shows, but and been helpful giving feedback for marketing and all sorts of helpful things. You'd be surprised. Venue owners are really, really supportive of the music scene and emerging artists and stuff. Really, some of them we run into a few that weren't so much, and then you just don't go back and play those places. But the rest are
Yeah.
the rest are just they're really what makes that cross Canada and the touring circuits around here really excellent. So.
If you have a hunger or a thirst for the sound of a band that comes close to Pink Floyd, then serve yourself up some Spaceport Union. Download their EP and look forward to their upcoming CD full-length album. I continued on and I asked Adam more about touring and how his experiences in a Pink Floyd tribute band attribute to the sound of Spaceport Union.
I got a question for Adam. Were you happy with the fan response from the 2011 tour, and what, if anything, would you change to enhance the music and fan experience?
I was very happy with the fan response that we got on the last tour. You know, as we played city by city, we had the odd fan who would be like, "Wow, that was like amazing," and would sort of talk to us at length, and that was a pretty special thing for us.
Like the people that gave us hugs.
Yeah, the people that gave us hugs and
like, oh,
bought all our merch and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, as we progress, basically, we're always trying to sort of advance our music, make it a little better each time, sort of create something that's more engaging to the audience. So basically, bit by bit. But as far as the tour is concerned, it was a lot of fun. It was definitely something that I have no complaints about.
Now, when I listened to the tracks on the Hello EP, the sound is so clear. On the Lark EP, I was amazed at how the overall sound of the music became crisp and clear. Right when you think a band starts to sound great, they sound even more awesome. I understand that you performed with a Pink Floyd tribute band called Pigs. Did that experience influence your approach on the songs that you wrote on the Lark EP?
Well, Pink Floyd's kind of been part of my musical diet ever since I was a teenager. You know, they were my first real experience of sort of being gripped by music was when I first listened to The Wall in its entirety. And that sort of changed my DNA when I was 14, and then that sort of launched me actually playing the guitar and then eventually learning piano and stuff like that. And just as a teenager, Pink Floyd's kind of been my Bible, technically. So when I joined Pigs, basically I found myself in the role playing parts of Richard Wright, and that's been a really good experience. As far as influence on our music, I'd say on my part, it plays a pretty big part of it, just the way of creating something very, very lush and very full of feeling, essentially. So I'd say Pink Floyd plays a pretty big part of that.
An extremely important part of recording in the studio is having the talent, the songs, the material, the expertise, and having a very, very good music producer. Someone who knows how to sculpt the sound and understands what the artist is trying to achieve in the overall production and finished product.
So here's an open question for anyone who wants to start it. What was it like to work with music producer Michael Jack?
Well, I have to say, that's not the first time I got to work with Michael. Michael was actually the guy that produced and mixed and mastered the Gemini, Hey Gemini.
Oh, okay.
Right? So I'd worked with him before, and we'd always talked about working together again sometime, off in the future. But I guess a couple of years ago, when I was first kind of starting this project, I had mentioned it to him, and he says, Caroline, I'd love to work with you again. And I was like, oh, well, I'm kind of doing this proggy thing now. Got like really long songs. He's like, oh, that's cool. So Adam and I went out to Toronto last year in November to meet with him to get going on the recording project. And it was just a fantastic experience. He's one of the most wonderful guys, really supportive and just, really awesome. Anyway, what did you think, Adam?
I had a lot of fun working with Michael. What I found was that he was very direct. He wasn't a yes man or anything like that. So he didn't let things that didn't sound very good fly necessarily, but he sort of worked in a very non-intimidating manner. Like he seemed like he was always very very supportive of what we're doing, and he had a profound understanding of what we were trying to create.
Totally agree with that. Also, like, he just seemed really real and was like quite down to earth. Because of all the people that he has worked with, it was really kind of cool just to see him in his realm. And since he chose us to kind of be his
Guinea pig, almost.
creative project, I guess,
Yes,
too.
project.
Yeah. It was really cool to kind of see that. And the thing is that he was trying to help us as a whole, but he was also trying to help us as each person as well, just to kind of get ourselves into, to be like more known about ourselves, about what we have to do to make this album great.
Sort of getting everyone to their full potential.
Yeah.
Trying to draw that
Yeah,
out.
so
Yeah.
like he was doing like a role of also, I guess, kind of like a coach in a way.
Yeah, he's sort of, and he's like a mentor, you know. He's been a
Yeah,
mentor
like you
to
totally
me for
look
a long
up to him.
time.
Yeah.
And, you know, it was really nice of him, like, you know, sort of taking this on, and we're sort of like his pet project this year, you know, and that's been really amazing for us to get that experience. He came out to Victoria and did pre-production with us that weekend, and in Souk at our friend Gail's place, and it was just awesome. You know, just from that, we knew that, you know, you kind of come with some stuff that's kind of rough and everything, and you're not too sure about it, and he just brought, like, it was like the fifth member of the band, you know, really helped bring all your, you know, your hopes about that song, to bring them out and to bring the potential out. Yeah, so it's been a really great learning experience and growth as a band and as artists too, this whole year working with him.
Who is the songwriter of the band? Is it shared creation? Does the song change in development as the band becomes more familiar with the song?
I think one of the things I really like about this, and I mentioned with my problems when after the whole EP, the Gemini thing, and getting really blocked as a songwriter, that the nice thing about this band is it's just really open to anybody can bring something, you can work on something, you know, there's no real hard and fast rules. I mean, if you want to write something and bring it and share it with people so they can contribute to play on it, or you want to jam something together, so there's no, you know, there's no sort of strict structure to how we create songs. You know, like,
So it's a true collaboration then of all the members.
yeah, we all collaborate on stuff to kind of bring the songs alive, and like sometimes something will be more finished, you know, and you'll bring it in and you say, okay, I've got this much of a song, and then people add to it, and then that transforms it. Or it might be like, I've just got this little hook, or let's just create something out of the blue, you know, and then from that, then you apply your craft, right? So, for example, when we were doing Minnow, you know, Adam had sort of a soundscapey thing, and then we all kind of put our stuff into it, but it still needed words and a bit of structure. So then, you know, after a while of improvising words, I kind of put the words into it, and, you know, so it kind of just evolved. Like, it's kind of an organic way of songwriting, and yeah, I found it pretty freeing.
Well, as host of the KingMinion Music Podcast, my favorite part of the show is enlightening people around the world about new, creative, emerging musicians like Spaceport Union, then empowering the fans to go out and purchase and download incredible songs like you're about to hear, fueled by consequence.
Crashing to the ground. It isn't like I can choose, I got everything to lose. Doesn't matter much to me so long as you don't set me free. The consequences get me moving. The repercussions keep me going. Waste my time, throw me in the firing line. The only reason I'm still here, I'm too afraid to disappear. The consequences get me moving. Repercussions keep me going. Get me moving. The repercussions keep me going. The consequences get me moving. Yeah. The repercussions keep me going and 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 going.
So, Adam, tell the listeners about the free download music on Bandcamp. Is the Lark EP CD available there as well?
Yeah, basically we do have the Lark EP available right now. It's in its physical format. It's in special limited edition CD with a funky space age packaging to it. And And Field by Consequence is available for free on the Bandcamp. So definitely check it out.
Okay, so there's a new album coming out. I think originally I thought it was February, but it sounds like now, like Carolyn said, it was May or June?
Yeah, actually, I don't know, the February thing came out. I know it's anticipation, but it's always been planned to be later in spring, summer for that to come out. There's a number of things when you do an album, that have to be done before that goes out the door, right? So the music, everything's done on the music side of things, but you still have to do mail outs, you have to get reviews, you have to try and get, you send out for radio play, you have to get the design of the jacket done and any kind of merchandise done, you have to prepare for a tour. I mean, the list goes on and on. There's lots of things to prepare to make sure that CD gets its best opportunity to be promoted out in the world. And so, we're just trying to give ourselves to make sure that all those things are done. Because sometimes, you'll say, oh, here's the date for the CD release. And you're like, I don't even have any CDs in my hand. And, it's quite stressful. So we want to kind of reduce that and sort of give it its best opportunity. We're really, really proud of it, and we put a lot of work into it. And so we want to do, give it its very best, in everything, like, spend the time and make sure the design and everything is what we want. And also, that being said, we'll be releasing tracks over the next number of months, probably
like
starting
tracks or...
yeah, like we'll be releasing stuff so fans can get to hear it, and then when we get everything done, they'll be part of that whole process. So we're just getting a whole bunch of stuff prepared so that we can kind of keep that up, right? Because we all have our Joe jobs.
Yeah.
So that takes up a lot of time. So it takes 2 or 3 times as long to get things done
and I guess the timing
right?
is you've got to get that down, because it sounds like as the CD or the album is finalized and released, then you'll be on your way on a tour, so
right.
you've got the product there when you go to different towns.
Yeah.
So.
And also, the other thing is quite an investment financially as well. So, we really put a lot into raising money for the album, and then putting money into, like, we want to do video and stuff like that as well. So, you kind of have to do it in little bits as you can afford to get it done. And so there's that, and there's also, putting together the actual physical CD, right? And we were kind of thinking we'd like to try doing a vinyl album, but no promises. That's what we'd love to do, but no promises, because the thing is that I haven't really found anything that's that cost effective yet. So, but hopefully we'll find something.
Yeah, so it was expensive back in the 80s. I can tell that for sure. I actually forgot to bring a copy of the single I was involved with, and that cost an arm and a leg. And the best thing we got was airplay in Yugoslavia somewhere on Radio Free Europe, because it was anti-communist. But
Oh wow!
You're listening to the KingMinion Music Podcast.
So Taylor, I'm gonna ask this for everybody in the band. We'll start off with Taylor. What's your favorite thing about playing in the band and recording music?
What's my favorite thing about this band and recording music? Well, just that we are all in the same headspace, that we want to have this grow, keep it going, have it our main job, really. And it's really cool to come into our rehearsal space and just have a jam, and it feels great, and just I have a lot of creative juices that we can just kind of come out. That's good. And to record music, that is kind of a newer thing for me. I haven't really got into that until the past 2 years and the past year, and it's been like a new monster for me. I've learned a lot about myself and how to actually do that with the band, and it has helped me out a lot. It's just really awesome.
Okay, Adam, same sort of question.
The way I kind of see Spaceport Union is almost like musical adventurousness, like basically sort of reaching out into the musical unknown, if you will. I like being able to collaborate with my bandmates and sort of bounce ideas off of one another and seeing how they manifest themselves, really, and finding unique ways to bring everything out.
Hey, Richard, what's your favorite?
Well, I'll come from like a bit of a selfish aspect here, because my favorite part about being in this band is the fact that it makes me a better musician, because my background is in jazz, and then when I'm going to like play rock or prog rock or whatever you want to call this kind of style, I find that it there's a lot of pushing and pulling going on in terms of what the song is dictating the bass line should be and what I want it to be. So I gotta find the happy medium there, and that's a very versatile skill to have in music in general. So in that regard, and also like to make the song like do justice to the song as well. So there's a lot of things to consider, and so far I'm seeing lots of improvement in everything. So I'm happy.
That's good. And Carolyn, what's your?
I love these guys. They're awesome. I mean, it's great to have that feeling of being part of something bigger than yourself. And I've always really thought that with this band, that it was just, it's kind of hard to put it in words, but there's something expansive and that can grow, and you can bring your creativity to it, and it's welcomed, and then it just keeps growing and growing. I mean, the thing about a band, it's kind of like a group marriage. It really is, because you have to really work hard at managing the relationships, and try and keep your communication open, and and then welcome the creativity, and find ways to work to because everyone's got different personalities, different needs, and any day of the week you might not be in the greatest mood or whatever, life happens, right? But when you come into that practice space, you can let all that go and just be right there and in the moment with the music, and that's where magic happens, and for me, sometimes I have trouble just trying to communicate feelings, you can say certain things, but the deep emotions, they're hard to kind of put into words. You're so moved by things. I find that through music, there's some sort of release of those true, pure, deep emotions that that don't come out in words. They come out in music for me. And to be in a band together, it's like everyone's there, like if sort of when you're doing it on your own, and I have done the music stuff sort of on my own, you can get lost in it a little bit, and it's nice to have that camaraderie of the band and that strength that of self-support to keep lifting that music up, so that sometimes you might not have the skill to do every single thing for that song, but the other people do, and they lift it even further than you ever could yourself. Yeah. And it becomes something really it allows this creative entity to live and grow and breathe, and have its life, and I feel really privileged to be working with these guys to be doing that sort of thing.
Actually, one for Richard. I noticed in the photos at the Mocha House show that you were playing an acoustic upright bass. As a performer, do you see a trend where more bassists are trending towards acoustic over electric?
I think the word trend is kind of like a double-edged sword. In regards to most of the bands nowadays that are playing upright bass for the bassist, is usually because the band, the other instrumentation in the band, the guitarist is more of acoustic, the piano will be a little more acoustic, and they start to have this more organic sound. And based on the pictures with my double bass, that was at a venue that was like a coffee shop, the Mocha House, and it was meant to be more laid back and an acoustic kind of vibe. So the double bass called for that. But for most other shows, like more of like a rock venue, rocking out party, I use my electric bass. So it's more about the sound of the instrument as opposed to just playing it for like to be hip and be the flavor of the week. So it's more about the sound, yeah.
Okay.
rises here. I think that I have finally missed my train. There it goes down the line, and I think that I will miss it once again. Like checkerboard, the pattern will repeat. In parallel, we never seem to meet. Turn the radio off. I must have heard this song a million times. The static makes it hard to hear, and I'm losing out on what is right
So, Taylor, you're the drummer.
I am.
And I enjoy your versatility of drumming on the Lark CD. As a drummer, what is your opinion on bands that play songs with a diversity of styles, arrangements, and timing changes?
Well, for me personally, it kind of keeps me kind of wanting to hear it. Like, there's like, it's not just one way, like we're in this little, like, it's, I don't know, what am I trying to say? Hold on. I guess for me, it kind of, it keeps me wanting to hear it. It keeps my ear going, what's that? That's kind of happening there. I don't want to hear the same thing over and over again. I want to have something kind of like new and like different.
I think, Carolyn, you mentioned something about videos. Is there, as you said, I guess basically the cost involved before you get around to doing a video? And with the video, you want more of a professional look to it rather than looking like somebody did it on their 8mm camera or something.
Well, you know what? Actually, you get really good footage nowadays. Like, we went out and did a whole music video with our iPhones, and it's amazing. It was like 8mm film, look on an iPhone. It's just amazing footage. And I tried to edit it myself, and I was trying so hard. I was going, why aren't the lips matching it with the music? I don't understand. And I noodled with it all day, and I noodled with it another day, and I'm like, I can't get the lips to match the music. What's gone wrong, right? And then I realized that, it was Adam, actually.
I'm just a bad lip syncer myself.
I'm like,
Well,
So
that's
anyway.
where you use the thing on GarageBand there that it's not auto-tune. It just syncs up things up, so you just tie it into...
oh, yeah.
And there's that thing called like the real voice.
Well, I need some tool like that, because it was like zoom right in and trying to do it. I was like, oh man, okay, so there's all this great footage. But as I was saying, the iPhones are great, but it'd be nice to get someone else to videotape us and edit it and stuff. And it's not that it's, there's a lot of people doing video around. It's not that it's like super expensive. I mean, you can do it pretty reasonably. It's just there's so many things to get done, right? So you're getting photos and video, and you're trying to, get your CD made up and all that stuff. So each little cost adds up. And, it's maybe not affordable all to do it all at once, right? So... and it's also trying to fundraise for things as well, and make time to get everything done. So, pulling in your resources. But in terms of video, we want to do video for the new album, and also get some good live video as well. I've tried on my old camera, because iPhones need to come with a stand.
Oh, yeah,
Hook up 4 iPhones around the room. That would be perfect. But that doesn't happen at shows. And so I usually put my old video camera on, and I have got the worst footage ever. It's always like so bad. It gets knocked, or someone walks in front of it. Or, I have got like, it's a comedy of errors, the amount of rotten footage that I have. So yes, so
Some kid turns it in his direction and starts sticking his tongue.
Oh
out.
yeah, that's always
or
the
it
way.
wasn't on. That's the other thing. Wow, that was a great show. We did so great, and oh wow, the video camera wasn't on.
Or you didn't take the cap off.
Yeah, I didn't take the cap off.
Well, I know I've got something that I've talked about in previous podcasts, and that was the fact of having bands having teams. Now, do you have a team that works behind the band, or do you predominantly, as the band members, try and forge things, or with the internet pages and?
It's funny, as a band, we're very concerned about, this. We really care about making our band successful, right? In terms of that, we want to make. It's like bringing your creative work alive, right? Like in theater, you put all this, everyone's as a team and gets the play out, right? Well, same with music. It's not just about playing. It's also about the whole sort of business side of things, especially in this day and age. And also bringing that side of the creativity out as well. So we meet like every week to do a little business meeting and try and keep things going that way ourselves. And so we all as a team take on something and work on it through the week and sort of plan out our year and stuff. which I recommend to all the bands listening. It's very useful to make a plan because then things actually happen. But we also have people behind the scenes that, that volunteer or that, are part of our, people that we pay to help us as well. So there's sort of a group of people. So we have a producer, people help us with design stuff. We have people that, come out to shows when we're doing a bigger show and do merch for us. We have mentors. We have people that, we just have a team of people, and it's growing. Like, since we're coming out with this album, there's been people volunteering, and I still trying to find, organize things so I can give them something to do. Mm-hmm. So it's been nice to have that sort of support, and, it just seems to be growing, which is nice. And it means a lot to us to have the support of each other, but also to have the support of, friends, family, and people that just love our music and want to help us, succeed with it. So
Spaceport Union recorded their Lark EP at the Runway Studios in Sydney, BC, on Vancouver Island. And I spoke with the band members to ask them what they thought of the recording studio.
So we're getting down to one of the last questions here, but curious, how was your experience at the Runway Studios in Sydney, BC?
Well, maybe Taylor, you can talk about that a bit.
Sure. Well, that was where we did Lark. It was our first kind of kick at the can. It was actually really cool because it was just like one huge room that we just kind of jammed in, really. It was a good vibe, and it was a good first start too for us, because it kind of got us in the right mindset of what we had to do in for the new album coming up, which we did in Toronto. So that was just kind of the first thing, I guess. Yeah, it was fun though. It was great.
Yeah, it was really fun. Yeah, I have to say, Steven Clipper, who runs Runway Studios, he was just really great. He's a really easygoing, laid back kind of guy, and really supportive and stuff. And we just got we were kind of super organized, so it really went pretty well. And it was pretty. It was just really a nice, laid back kind of good experience with recording it. We had lots of fun.
Yeah, because it was only really 2 or 3 days that we went in there, and we just kind of went in there, we got our job done, and then it was just oh, it's done. Here it is.
It was very painless. Yeah. It was very painless.
Yeah, being organized is a key factor.
Yeah.
I remember that from me.
I think it was a tremendous experience. Basically what we needed at the time was just our songs down, and what we were able to create was something very special with those 4 songs on there. Yeah. And basically have that being our recorded debut was fantastic, and we got some really good contacts. We got to meet some great other bands largely through the Lark EP.
Yeah. And Steven Clipper's really supportive. He really promotes local bands. He gets on his Facebook and gets the word out about your music, and he gets really excited about it and stuff. He's just a really supportive guy, it's kind of cool. And what was really nice too is Michael, our producer, he is in Toronto, so he mixed and mastered the stuff. So it's a real team effort. Mm-hmm. So Steven recorded and Michael did that, and so it was a really good experience all around, and good for us too, because like they said, it was a good prep work for going off to Toronto and knowing what we had to get done to be prepared.
I really do love hearing about bands, musicians, studios, producers, venues, all coming together to help the creative emerging artists in Canada and around the world today. I look at the Canadian music scene today, and it seems as if there are 3 distinct sections. Local bands, the big record label artists, and somewhere in the middle are the truly creative musicians, with the likes of Metric, Stars, City and Colour, Mother, Joel Plaskett, the New Pornographers. It seems that in Canada, a certain niche group of artists continue to pursue their musical dream while doing so, producing some of the best songs we have ever heard. Spaceport Union is one of those bands and are admired by their peer group and enjoyed by their fans.
It's the first
traumatic.
thing that appeared in this file. It's traumatic.
Yeah.
Traumatic.
Well, Spaceport.
Oh, by the way, we're recording in our tour van.
Van,
right
yeah.
now. Yeah, we're in Cherry DeMille right now. And the police came over for looked. What are you guys
What are they doing? Yeah.
here? And, jeez.
And the windows are foggy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's getting kind of foggy in here.
And I'm looking for Amanda Hugging
Yeah.
Wow, okay.
Where is Amanda Hugging Kiss?
Why can't I find Amanda Hugging?
You guys are terrible. Okay, edit.
Okay, edit that. Yeah.
Cut.
Got
You're cut off.
So, Spaceport Union, thank you so much for being guests on the KingMinion Music Podcast inside this foggy van just outside of Chinatown.
Yeah.
And we're going to play the song Irises coming up.
Awesome.
All right. Thanks. Bye, everybody.
We're cheesy as
KingMinion Music Podcast was brought to you by V1 Music, the boutique label with the big sound. Music played on the KingMinion Music Podcast has been authorized by the songwriter or publisher or designate of the artist.